So if you find yourself in a space where if you go outside your church to get married, or if your man finds you from outside of your church, your pastor is going to get upset. And I know that there are different ways of getting upset. So typically the pastor is not going to come to you and say, I'll give you a blow for getting married outside church. It could be that they start giving you a body language of you're no longer you're no longer a part of us, or you just said it's just start getting the silent treatment. You are not in the right place. I have to tell you, you are not in a place that you're truly loved. You are in a place where you're conditionally loved. You are in a place where it's not healthy for you. That's just the plain truth, because Jesus came to establish the body of Christ, and I know that different denominations have springed up in the last years, in the last hundred of years, at different time in history, different denominations have been springing up to deal with different issues, because some denominations were not taking some, quite frankly, biblical issues seriously. That's the truth. But at the end of the day, we must remember that we are all the body of Christ, and even when we disagree on certain things, we must put that at the forefront of our minds. So, if we believe that we're all God's children, and biblically we believe that we are going to make it to heaven, and there are not going to be denominations in heaven. It doesn't matter how you think your pastor is, how deep you think he is or she is, or is the only person that can preach up a storm. There are not going to be denominations in heaven. So why don't you start practicing that love? Why don't you start practicing that care from here on earth? This denomination thing, I don't even want to get into it. There are people who have even started looking down on some other people because they feel like, oof, your church is not teaching this kind of word. I shouldn't be talking to you. Oh, please. That is the attitude that some people are giving. They'll say, no, yeah, yeah. They're not giving it to, that's what they will tell you, that no, you're getting it wrong, but that's what they're doing. And why do I know? Because there are some churches, some people say they are cults, who are telling their members not to go out, whether they mean it implied or expressly rather. This is disturbing. Telling your member that the member should not get married from. So what if the person's husband is not there? And this particularly with women, the men find it easier, quite easier. Maybe not that easy, but they find it easier to meet their wives from outside of their church denomination or their church circle. Many times I've interviewed, watch the Meet Your Husband playlist for you to see the men that I've interviewed, so that you can get context on some of these things that I'm sharing. These things I'm sharing, they're not just theory. These are things that people are literally living out. But when it comes to women, they are the ones that they are held back. They are the ones that are distressed. They are the ones that are shaking. They are the ones that are holding themselves back. And this video is just to, for a person who is asking this question, it's just to let you know you're not in a healthy space. I know, and I know that there are churches who are not saying this expressly, but the body language is telling you you better don't go out of this church to get married. And I'm all for understanding the same doctrine, so don't get it wrong. I'm not here to say, oh, just get somebody. You guys should not be nodding yourself. You should be confused. Just get anybody in the name of marriage. Get somebody in the name of marriage and just be confused, and then kill yourself with confusion and lack of understanding. Of course, by all means, you should get someone that your belief system is on the same level. It may not align 100%, but you guys are closely aligned, especially with your values and your beliefs, and you are willing to do the work to become one, because that's why the Bible talks to us about becoming one. This is because you are not one, so don't expect to become one before marriage. It's going to happen, no matter how long you date for. It's truly really going to happen in the marital process. There's still a lot of things are going to be learned, but you both must be willing to say, you know what, I'm willing to become one with you despite our differences. Because a lot of times Some coaches put this thing out there as if, oh, everybody, you are just going to now become one from the relationship. It doesn't always work that way. What is important to say, yes, I'm going to get into a marital relationship with this person, is the willingness to say, despite what level we currently are, I am willing to do the work for us to become one. I'm willing to do the work for us to become one in thoughts, in ideas. It's not that become and two shall become one. I hope you know it's not only people that has only sex. It's not only sex now, in ideas, in convictions, in belief system, because you need that oneness to be able to build a nation that is aligned with God's will, and a nation that will stand the test of the and trials of the enemy. So people meet each other from different places all the time. If you claim that you're a Christian, there are definitely some there's some starter pack beliefs that you both are going to have. So once you start now then looking at what are the other things that we don't believe, or it seems like it's not working for us. I mean, there is no, I'm not talking about getting married to one person believes you should have sex, the other person should not believe. I'm talking about Bible believing Christians here, please. That's a different, that one is not a Christian. I'm talking about Bible believing Christian, but this one believes, oh, you should take the Holy Communion. This one believes, no, we've already taken the Holy Communion once and for all. You know, there are some people, there are churches who still serve Holy Communion. So churches who believe absolutely not. We are not breaking bread. That's what's for the people in the back. So there are some of these beliefs here and there that now form these different doctrines that you both, if you truly love each other, you can sit down and actually iron out if you love each other by looking into the word and studying the word. This 2024. Many things are now online for research. You don't need to wait and say, I'll wait till my church is teaching this series in November. Then I'm going to now learn about it. It doesn't, no, okay, well, I don't say nobody does that again, but if I want to know something, I'm going to know it like right now. I'm not going to wait that, oh, where are they teaching? The love month, where they are teaching love. I'll wait till then. Serious people don't do that anymore. By all means, enjoy and wait for the month, but I mean, you go and research and learn, especially if you're in a critical situation where you are getting married to somebody and you're trying to become one through your thoughts and your ideas. So, I'll close out by saying there's nothing wrong with getting married to a brother from the body of Christ. If your pastor doesn't know what I'm saying now, then you have a problem in that your community, that your church, and I'm not sure. It's a selfishness problem. There's also, and I'll close out by saying there's also the situation where pastors do not want their members to leave as a result of the assets that these members are to the church. But let's remember that we don't own anybody. So let's not put our selfishness ahead of people's lives because you want something, then you try to force people to do things a certain way. That's what we are seeing, and selfishness has unfortunately crept into the church regarding that. So if you find yourself in this particular situation, I've already shared with you how you both should keep working together by becoming one. You guys will need to do the work. So don't think it's going to be a walk in the park, especially if your convictions on certain things biblically is different. Like this one believes we should fast on certain days. This one doesn't believe. All of these things are even addressed in the Bible. But you need to sit down and say, okay, are we willing to work on it? If you guys are not willing to work on it, maybe I don't know for you, but you should be willing to work on it. These are the important things we need to sacrifice if we want to get together with ourselves as the body of Christ. All right, I hope I've answered your question. If there is any other part of the question that I did not answer, share it with me in the comments. I want you to share this video with one sister as well, at least two sisters I would prefer, that may be going through this, and I will see you in my next video. But you can definitely see me on previous videos that you may have missed. Thank you so much for watching. Welcome if this is your first time. I am Said Nyo, and I drop content like this every week. Check the description to find ways that I can serve you. Thank you for spending time with me today.